Well, good morning. It's your old pal Jordan the Lion. How are you guys today? It's the start of the weekend and we're back from Hearst Castle. 3 full vlogging days worth of Hearst Castle, and I hope that most of you enjoyed it. It seems like most of you did. Of course, there's always some complaints, but for the most part, I think that everybody enjoyed getting to see one man's vision of what a utopia was like and what his masterpiece ended up looking like before he was even finished. But if you're wondering what I've been doing since, it's just been really hot here, so I've been working on editing other videos. I signed my management contract, and now I'm just going to be getting ready, thinking about what vlogs I want to do before I depart for another vlogging trip, and then kind of what my future holds after that vlogging trip. I've been thinking about a lot of stuff, and just a lot's going on in my head right now, and trying to figure out when I'm going to talk about it and how exactly I'm going to talk about it. But we'll deal with that when it comes up. I don't know exactly what we're going to do, but I do have to go to the grocery store today, get Josh some food, and get the day started. It's really hot outside, but I don't want to let that hamper losing a good weekend. So Daze with Jordan the Lion begins now. Well, you might be wondering what we've been doing the last couple of days. It's been ungodly hot around here. We're talking over 100 the last couple of days. So hot he can't hardly even hang. So I've been editing Michael's wedding video and Stefan's rock festival video. I'm about halfway done with Michael's, and Stefan's is done. And we've been going to the park, but they painted over half the parking at the park, turned it into red zone, so we may have to find a new place to hang out. Well, I just went to the store and got Josh some food, and while I was over there, I was walking by Ross, and I thought to myself, you know what, maybe I'll go in there and see if I need anything. And I immediately noticed this, one of those caddies for the corner of your shower, and I remembered, you know what, I was in the shower today and I looked over at the one, you might remember about a month or 2 months ago, mine broke in the shower while I was taking a shower, and I jimmy rigged it just to keep it up long enough so I could finish my shower, but I completely forgot that it broke. And today I was looking at it in the shower and it was rusted out and everything, and I was like, oh yeah, that thing broke, I should probably replace it. So I popped in to buy one, and you are not gonna believe the irony of this. I came home, and at some point while I was gone, the thing broke in the shower, and that's what's left. And this one, rust proof. So let me tell you what inspired the vlog for today. I was hanging out with Kevin a couple of days ago, and he was telling me that there was some sort of scientific study that said that the word booty was considered by scientific study to be the funniest word in the English language. Now, I don't necessarily agree with that at all. I don't really think it's even that funny of a word, but he said that they had deemed that to be the funniest word, and when he was talking about it on a radio show that he does, he said every time they would say the word booty, they would play a sound bite from The Adventures of Fort Fairlane when Ed O'Neill, we always just call him Al Bundy, when Al Bundy starts singing booty time, he plays like a cop or like a detective or whatever in the movie who was once a disco artist.
Booty time, across the USA. Booty time, hey, hey, hey.
And had a hit song or a song that he thought should have been a hit called Booty Time. So that actually reminded me that I've wanted to do this vlog for a while. So today we are going to do something tied to the movie The Adventures of Fort Fairlane, which if you haven't seen it, it's a great movie, but if you don't like Andrew Dice Clay, you're not going to like it. Well, somebody's got a fancy night ahead of them. Headless walk sign, headless walk sign. Now this was actually kind of a life-changing movie for Andrew Dice Clay because he had been in other things but never starred in it as kind of the Dice character. And he ended up going on the Arsenio Hall show and did kind of a weird appearance on there that people couldn't quite figure out whether he was joking or telling the truth. Almost kind of tearing up when he was talking about having the opportunity to make this movie, and some people thought it was just like Almost like a weakness in his character. Oh man, the line for the It house is all the way around this corner. I'm glad I did it when I did it. Little fun fact about that place, that orange place, that used to be a quasi music venue. More times than not it was a club, but in the first, I would say, year or 2 years that I was here, when Kevin and I met and became friends, he got invited to come here and see Fabrice Morvan, which was Fab from Rob and Fab that were Milli Vanilli. And we came here and saw Fabrice Morvan play like a solo performance when he was trying to get a record deal. It wasn't bad, you just couldn't look at him without thinking of Milli Vanilli. Well gang, here it is. What we came to see today. The crossroads of the world. Now you can immediately tell why I would be enthralled by seeing something like this when I first moved here. It wasn't too far from where I lived when I first moved, and I immediately loved this Americana style architecture to this weird building. It had kind of a, almost like something you'd see built for a World's Fair. Let's go take a look. Now, part of the great history to this building or this complex is that this is credited as being the very first outdoor mall in America. It was opened in 1936 and it was designed by Robert Dara, and it was basically made to look like, as you can tell, an ocean liner with some villages surrounding it, little village houses surrounding it on the outside. Now, this is heavily featured as Andrew Dice Clay's office in The Adventures of Ford Fairlane, and the very first shot that you see is pretty much something kind of like this, and you see the camera pan down. And Dice is actually standing right here.
My office was at the crossroads of the world. The rent was high, but it was worth it.
And walks through these gates towards his office.
For those chicks.
And unfortunately, these gates are not open today. Now, however, the one over here is. So I'm going to show you a little bit of what was filmed here. And at part of the movie, they reference, Dice references the 7-Eleven to Tone Loc. When Tone Loc's singing, he said you can go over and sing that at the 7-Eleven. There's the 7-Eleven he mentions.
Don't you guys take it across the street to 7-Eleven?
So even 25 years ago, that 7-Eleven was there. Let's go inside. So the part that we actually see from the movie isn't on this side. We're gonna have to hop across because, like I said, he enters over here in this gate. Pretty cool details in this fountain though. Wonder when the last time this fountain worked was. But anyway, he comes walking in through this gate, and as he's walking up through here, this is where he kind of runs into, I guess it'd be right about here because you can see the edge of the building, that part right up there in the background. Tone Loc and all of his buddies are here rapping, and Ford Fairlane's telling him, yeah, the good stuff's good, you know, baby. But then he goes over here, and I believe it's this door over here that he goes into. This is now a historical landmark, and here you can see it was, like I said, 1936 Robert Dara. But I believe it's this doorway that he goes into, and he ends up going up. His office is actually meant to be, or to look like it was in here, or actually maybe the door was probably right here. Wherever would lead up to the stairwell, you can't really tell because when they flash and look at the buildings around it, now you can probably tell what I was saying when I said that it looks like cottages kind of surrounding an ocean liner. Do you see that part of it now? Now this was actually, it never ever shut down. What it's used for now primarily is business offices. There's a few stores here, like you can see here, there's a little clothing store here, but for the most part it's casting offices and management offices and agents and things like that. But we see Daze go inside, and it shows him going up a spiral staircase and then up into there where his office is, and a young Lauren Holly is his receptionist in there. But we end up seeing him come outside, and he's talking to a suspect out on this roof right out here, and you can actually see all that, whatever's on the top in the background.
Next time it'll be for real.
Now there's no question the architecture of this place is awesome. I love the building style, and the fact that it's even still here is kind of surprising. I'd love to know, I looked and looked and looked, I couldn't really find when it ceased to exist as mainly an outdoor shopping plaza, but I think it's pretty cool that because of the structure and everything that they have preserved it and now have found another purpose for it. And here's the other side. Now it definitely looks like, I wonder if maybe this door, maybe they cheated it like I've told you guys they do in movies where they actually cheat another doorway. That looks like the one that would lead up to there. What would have been his office. So if you live in Los Angeles, think of this was kind of the predecessor to the Grove. Yeah, somebody's definitely using that upstairs. I can see objects up there. It's definitely being used as an office now. Now look at this little piece, this little accent here. And then take a look at what would, I guess, since this is the parking lot, this is considered the front of it. Crossroads of the world. Now you can see here that pretty much the whole property is full of those little village type buildings. There's even one all the way across here. Check that out. Even some fake wooden shutters painted onto the outside up there. Very Dutch Danish gingerbread house style over here. Not sure why the wheels are here. Yeah, these are all businesses now. Look at that, there's a little lighthouse up there as well. This is, I mean, we're talking right off Sunset. It's one of the original signs. Now let's go take a look at the lighthouse here. There doesn't seem to be a real strong motif flowing through here. Or not that I can tell, anyway. I kind of like how different it is. I wonder if that's a hint as to what this was supposed to be all about. Well, here we are on the outside, and just as I was leaving, a woman that works in one of these offices came out and asked me what I was doing. I told her what I was filming, and she said that this place, actually, she kind of helped clear up some questions I had. She said it ceased to be an outdoor shopping center or mall in the mid-50s, somewhere around 1955, but that she said they're working now to restore it back to the way it was for historical purposes, and that at one point this was also the offices of Alfred Hitchcock, Orson Welles. She listed off a handful of people. I think she said Jack Benny, but this was also, they filmed Remington Steele here. They have filmed part of LA Confidential. Handful of things have been filmed here. Interesting little fact, the first year that I lived in Hollywood, my music school was about a block away from here, and I was walking home from classes one day and ran into the guitar player of Weezer, Brian Bell. He was walking back from the old magazine store that used to be over here, and we ended up standing out here talking for about an hour. And when I moved here, meeting the members of Weezer was kind of one of those things that I was like, that'd be so great to do while I live in Los Angeles, not knowing how long I would ever live here. And to get to do that quickly within like the first couple of months was very cool. Well, here's your random cupcake truck off to the side. Now, the reason that I say this was kind of like a turning point in Daze's career is because right now, like at this point before he made this movie, Daze was kind of he was one of the biggest comics in the world, and he was selling out Madison Square Garden, and this was supposed to be like a defining movie that made him mainstream, and it had guest appearances by Ed O'Neill, Vince Neil from Motley Crue, Gilbert Gottfried, Lauren Holly, who else? Priscilla Presley, I think, if I'm not mistaken, even Wayne Newton. I mean, there were a lot of guest stars, and it was something coinciding with his interview on Arsenio that kind of threw people, and then him getting banned from MTV for life, or at least at that time for life. It just hit the sales and the bringing people out to see the movie, and the movie didn't do very well. Now we're gonna go home and take Ja out for a little bit, play with him, and then I have some plans for a rooftop movie tonight. Well, gang, I'm back from the movie, and I think I'm going to call it a night. I just wanted to thank Jackie Harpole and Orlando Delphin for becoming new Patreons, and thank you everyone for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing the first outdoor shopping mall, Crossroads of the world. Have a great night, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Goodbye.